Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Telescopes.net. My name is Daniel Mounsey, aka Dr. D, and today we have the new Rayox saddle plate. We want to tell you a little bit about it. It's a brand new, exciting saddle plate designed to replace your existing saddle plate that you may have. And we've got Steve Pizzo, who developed this product, to tell us a little bit about it. Steve, tell me what's going on with this thing.
All right. Well, first thing you'll notice, there's no knobs on it.
I noticed that right away.
Yes. So instead of using knobs or thumb wheels to tighten down on the dovetail, it actually uses a cam lever similar to a quick release on a bicycle wheel. But another thing you'll notice is the moving bit, the smaller side of the saddle plate, doesn't have the knobs or the cam lever, the actuators, not on the moving side. It's actually pulling through the body, so the lever is on the downhill side.
Gotcha.
So on your Equatorial Mount, typically have it set up like this, and when you go to tip in, on a traditional saddle, your knobs are up here, so you're having to reach around or over. It's also really hard to see that way. And so one of the key features with this saddle is when the dovetail is tipped in, when it hits the base in the right spot, this lever will automatically swing around into a position that captures the dovetail. Let me show you.
Gotcha.
Make sure this is open. All right, so you put it in just like a regular dovetail.
Okay.
And as you tip it down,
click. I saw that.
yes. Now, it's captured. It cannot come back out of that saddle.
So I can lift this thing, no problem.
Sure, go for it.
Let's find out. Oh, yeah, you are absolutely right. It does not move.
So the whole idea was I'd come close to dropping various optical tubes, but as I was getting more and more serious in astronomy and started to use larger and larger instruments, installing them became increasingly difficult. And I had a number of close calls, and I couldn't quite understand why I was having those close calls. I have a background in cinema production. Going back to the film days, we had, the camera packages were larger, heavier, and definitely more cumbersome than most of the optical tubes that I've been working with. And I never came close to dropping one of those. And one of the reasons is the interface to connect the camera package to the head. It was usually some sort of a quick connect, quick release system that gave you audible feedback when you were in the right spot. You'd hear this click. And so in designing this, that was one of the most important features that we wanted to integrate, was the feedback to let you know that you've actually set it down in the right spot and that it's secure. So that's where this lever swinging around and making that noise, you know for sure when that lever moves like that, that you've landed in the right spot. Now, at this point, it's still loose, and we call this the balance position.
Yeah, notice the B on there.
Yeah, and then there's also another line just past the B. So you'll notice that this other line right here, that's the point where you should start to feel some resistance.
I do. I can see it right there when you're doing it.
Gotcha. And the reason we put that there is,
that is so cool.
This saddle is designed to accommodate the D-series dovetails, but they're not all the same size. And we found a variation between the Los Mandy seemed to be the largest. Like all the Los Mandy dovetails all seem to be the same size.
Gotcha.
But out of all the ones we've tested, they're the largest. The Celestron dovetails, depending on whether they're cast or machined or extruded, they seem to vary a bit more. But the orange dovetails are consistently the smallest D-size dovetails that we've come across.
Gotcha.
And so there's an adjustment on here.
I noticed that. I was going to ask you what that does.
And so if we spin this around, you'll see this little knob here. Now, this knob, you can't turn it right now because it's locked. And that's by design. It's a really short knob, so you can't get any purchase on it because it's only to make adjustments when the saddle's open.
Gotcha.
And you'll notice that we have a C at one end and an L at the other.
Right.
So this is the C is straight up, indicating that it's adjusted for the orange celestron dovetail.
Gotcha.
If we wanted to put a Los Mandy dovetail in here, we would open this up. Now once it's open, we turn this knob.
Outwards.
Yep.
What happens if I keep unscrewing that?
Well, there's a stop in there. It can only travel about 300 degrees from the
this thing won't
celestron
flick
to the
off?
Los Mandy. So yes, this cannot come off.
That is really cool. Yeah, I know on some existing saddles that would just come right off if you kept unscrewing
well,
it. So that's kind of
yes, because they use the knobs to actually tighten down, as well as you can disassemble it just by if you keep turning those knobs.
I can see a lot of details gone into it. I mean, it's very obvious to me. I've never in my 25 years of doing with amateur astronomy, I've never seen a saddle with so many features on it. Even underneath, there's like all these screws. I mean, it's insane looking. You gotta see it in person to understand. Or maybe we had to show them the bottom. Look at the bottom of this thing. I mean, this is ridiculous.
So
look at that. It's beautiful. What is the deal with this? Does this allow you to attach different different mounts and whatnot, right?
So we call this our neutral interface.
Okay.
You've got a hole spacing at 35 millimeters.
Gotcha.
But there's a little puck that drops down into here.
Okay.
That's one of the interfaces for one of the common telescope mounts.
Okay.
But we also have different adapters. Like this one is more of a cup for some of the other popular mounts.
Right.
Some of them are little plates. It just depends on the mount that we're going on, what the adapter looks like. But this, again, is our neutral interface, and it allows you to accommodate pretty much every commercially available mount we've come across so far.
Got you. I mean, and you're open to ideas if somebody has a mount that you may not have.
Absolutely.
Maybe
yes.
Working with that.
We want to hear from anyone who has a mount that we don't have an adapter listed for. Typically takes us between 7 to 10 days to make a new adapter.
Okay.
So we will absolutely, as soon as we hear about one, we will get on it and make it right away.
Really astonishing. So I know people are going to want to know how we take this thing on and off. So any dummy can do it. I'm going to do it. So if I can do it, you can do it, right?
Well,
so I got
we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. So I got this here. We're going to unloosen the existing saddle on this mount.
Yep.
Okay. So
those two screws come
take
out.
This two bad boys out of there.
That saddle goes away. Now,
all right.
in place of the saddle, we're going to put this interface. Now, this is just one of many interfaces. This particular one happens to fit 10 plus mounts, but
wow. Okay.
We have all different types of interfaces that so far we've been able to accommodate every commercially available mount that we've come across.
With this one plate?
No, with different interfaces.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, this one, you're going to be using this hole and this hole.
Okay.
Okay. There you
Awesome.
go.
You have
And
the
you're going to
screws.
use these flathead screws.
I can't believe it. I'm doing this. All right. So we'll put that in. Okay. So I got this in here.
All
and
right.
I have the other one, of
snug,
course.
And now here's the other one.
Okay. So I'm going to put this one in. So I'll put this screw in there too.
There you go.
Obviously, I'm going to need a different Allen wrench. Do we have a different one for this?
We do.
Cool. Normally, you wouldn't have somebody handing these to you. I feel like a doctor right now.
I feel like
Handing
a
the
nurse.
tools over. Actually, I am the doctor. All right, so now we'll turn this over. Okay,
Alrighty.
we'll tighten this one. Let me just tighten the upper one here. Very cool. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so now this mount is ready to accept the saddle.
Ready for
so
action.
you'll see these two threaded holes
Okay,
right here. They're in line with the two screws you just put in.
gotcha.
Those are going to go with these two here.
Okay, so I will nestle this down onto here.
Yep.
Kind of falls in there, does it?
Yeah, there's a little socket on the bottom that
yeah.
matches that.
Yeah,
so
it's in there.
You just make sure that the
Wow,
holes
cool.
are close.
All right, so we'll
Drop
put those
that in.
And
wiggle
of
it
course,
around.
I'll need the other Allen wrench. So we'll take that, and you have the other screw.
I do.
All right, so we're going to put this bad boy in there. Let's tighten this up. Very
Just snug.
nice.
Now get the other one before you kill it.
Exactly. So we just do a
There
little
you
firm,
go. Now you can start
firm,
abusing
a little
it.
bit more firm, and then we'll do this one here.
And it's
Very
on.
nice.
Now?
That is it. How easy was that? Very cool. I like it.
And as I said, we have adapters for all different mounts. And if we don't have an adapter for a particular mount, we can make one in about 7 to 10 days. Just need to know which one to make.
Fantastic. So this is cool. So I guess depending on what mount you're gonna use it with, you guys are gonna include the hardware for it, correct?
Absolutely. So
Perfect.
depending on the interface that you purchase for
Yeah.
your particular mount or interfaces, they'll each come with specific hardware appropriate to your mount.
Okay.
All of our hardware will be grade 8 or higher.
Okay.
So everything has a tensile strength above 150,000 psi, because some of these mounts, some of these setups can be holding an awful lot of weight. So.
Right. Okay. So Steve, people are going to want to know: is it this saddle going to accommodate V and D plates, or how's that going to be?
This one is D only.
Okay.
We are making other sizes, but we wanted to start with a heavy-duty version,
Okay.
the one that can handle pretty much any payload. But we do have other sizes that are in the works, as well as a combo version.
Gotcha. Okay, so that answers that. And so I got a tube assembly here on the floor. We're going to go ahead and
Great, yeah.
put it on here
Let's
and
get it in
see
there.
how this works. So I'm going to grab this tube assembly. And I notice here, I'm just going to drop it in sideways, and that handle clicks.
Yeah, you can let go.
Yeah, I can let go, and it's safe. As long as, well, I just gotta
Here,
tighten the
I've got
clutch.
this, but
So I can let it go, and notice how it's loose. It's not going to go out anywhere. Isn't
And
that
again,
cool?
you can pick up the mount by the tube, and it's not going to
It'll still be
fall
fine,
out.
so it wouldn't fall. And then to secure it, I'll just go ahead and tighten it right here. So I've got that in
Correct.
there tight. The only thing here loose is the declination axis. But this thing is securely fastened in here. If I rotate the tube, it won't slide forward or backwards.
Now, when you go to take it off, it's worth noting that
Mm-hmm.
you can't just open this and leave the tube sitting here
gonna
in the
fall out.
saddle.
Sure.
Well, no, the lever won't stay in the open position as long as a tube is in there, and that's by
Gotcha.
design. It's so
Okay.
that you only open this lever up
Mm-hmm.
when you want to take the optical tube out of the saddle.
Okay.
So when you open it, as you open it, I usually have a hand on the top is
Okay.
how I steady it.
Okay.
And as I bring it to the open position, I tilt it out and you're done.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and open it. Yeah, okay, it's nice and firm on there. So now I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this out. Remember, it's not going to fall out, so you're okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take this knob, release it, and roll it out of there, and you're good to go.
And it's
so cool.
now cocked in the open position, ready
Yeah.
for it or another optical tube to go back in.
I really like it. It's like you're safely taking your tube off in steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really like that. It's kind of weird because when I use my normal the saddle, I have to. I'm always nervous when I'm unloosening those.
Right?
locks.
Is it open?
And I don't know how
Is it
far.
open?
I know
Is it
that's what's
open?
constantly
Right.
going. So it's just weird. It's just weird. I know when I unclick this, it's still going to be in there securely.
Well, that was a big
So,
thing, was having
like
these sort of discrete positions
Right.
that had very distinct functions.
Right.
A balance position, a locking position, the open position. Yeah, it's the whole idea was to make the steps very, very deliberate.
Right.
As opposed to, at least for me, as I would be either tightening or loosening, wondering, okay, am I close? Yeah. Am I close? And always having to, especially when I was taking it off, sort of like wiggle the tube. Okay, am I clear? Nope, not yet. All right, a couple more turns.
Right.
Okay.
See, I always do
there
that.
It is. Yeah.
This is absolutely the coolest saddle I've ever seen. It really is, seriously. Well, I think you've really looked at all the aspects of the things that you have to consider to making a really great saddle, and obviously this is one of them. So visit our website. If you have any questions, you can also call us toll-free at 888-427-8766. Thanks for watching.